Hey guys, before we get started in our chapter 16 respiratory disease chapter, I just wanted to mention that hopefully by Monday when you are watching this, I will have the test graded and your scores posted on D2L, and you will have that opened back up for you, and you can enter in and see any questions that you might have missed, what those correct answers are. Now, we are entering in our final unit of the semester, and that's going to be the diseases, the infectious disease units, and they're divided up by body system. So this first one is going to be the respiratory system. And of course, right now we have a global pandemic going on that involves an infectious respiratory disease. So I really wish that we could be together to be talking about this and doing a lot of fun hands-on things that I found about this, but we're not. So I'm shortening the lecture a little bit today. I've taken out some of the content that I had normally covered and had planned to cover, just so that we can do some of this hands-on and stuff, because it really relates to current events. And so one thing that's a little bit different that I wanted to point out is in D2L. Obviously, you have to watch the lecture video, which you found and you're doing. This antigenic drift and shift video, you'll need to watch that. And then I have a video that you guys are going to watch on the 1918 flu pandemic. And so while you're watching this video, you will click on this worksheet here and you'll open that up. You're welcome to print it off, or if you want to work on it on your computer while you're watching it, you have some questions that are addressed in the video that you'll have to fill out, and then you'll post those into the 1918 flu pandemic Dropbox folder. Okay, that is due on the 20th. That is due Monday, or today if you're watching it on the correct day. Okay, so that is a supplemental exercise that you'll go through and learn a little bit more about a major pandemic about 100 years ago. Okay, so watch that video and turn in the worksheet on the 20th. Okay, the other activity that we're going to do that's a little bit different is this coronavirus activity here. And you'll click on that and you'll open up where did you go? A PDF, and it will look like this. Okay, and if you can print this out and you want to color in this portion here, that'll be extra credit. Or if you can just kind of mentally go through and look at the different structures of the virus. This is the actual COVID-19 virus. This is what this activity is. Its official name is SARS coronavirus 2. This stands for severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay, so maybe you've heard of the SARS outbreak of 2003. It was caused by a coronavirus. It's actually CoV1, and this is CoV2. Okay, so here's the structure of it. Okay, and this the first part of it is going to have you look at the replication cycle. She has it called the life cycle, which we know viruses are not living, and technically it would be the replication cycle. But hopefully you can see my cursor down here and where it says lab exchange, life cycle of a coronavirus. You'll click on that, and let me switch over and show you what that looks like. If I can find it, here it is. It's actually this page here. Okay, this website, read through it very carefully, the life cycle of a coronavirus, and it's going to go through and basically review replication cycles. Remember the lytic and the lysogenic cycle from when we covered viruses? I'm really excited about this assignment because it's going to review for you viruses. Okay, fundamentals of viruses. And also here in just a little bit, we are going to review the the genetics of the virus as well. So it'll be really good to review that stuff, because in a couple of weeks we have the final coming up, and remember, that is cumulative. So read through this website very carefully, this web page here, and then you will be able to then answer the questions 1 through 12 based on that website. Okay, and before I forget to remind you, number 1 through 19 are required, the coloring, and then the remaining questions at the end are going to be extra credit. Okay, so 1 through 12 goes on the Life Cycle website, and then read through this information here, and then you'll click on the next web link, and go check that out, show you what that looks like. And it's actually this one. Okay, and you'll scroll down. She gives some very important directions in here. You can click on PubMed articles. You can click on clinical trials that are going on. There's all kinds of different things you can click on over here in the table of contents to learn more about the virus. However, we're going to be interested in this nucleotide sequence area. And instead of flipping back and forth, at the bottom of the, what is it, 3rd page, she says to scroll down and look at nucleotide sequences. And that's where we are right here. Okay, so this table has different samples of the virus that have been submitted, and there's, oh my gosh, there's 38 pages this morning. There are 42 now. It'd be interesting to see how many there are on Monday when you're watching this. But these are all of the different samples of coronavirus that have been sent in and published information about them. So we have right here, this number, the MN90 and so forth number, that is going to be called the ascension number. And over here, the gene region, if this virus has its complete genome sequenced, it will say complete. Otherwise, it'll just have different pieces of it, complete gapped. Okay, and just parts of the virus are shown and for others as well. And it was done in December of 2019 for this particular one, and it was done in China. Okay, so let's see, number 13, it says scroll through the list, the result, and list the countries where viral samples have been collected so far. Now this is 42 pages, so I'm not going to make you scroll through all of this, but here we have Japan, China, Philippines. You can actually click here on these arrows, Australia, China, you can click on the arrow to go from reverse order, Vietnam, all the different states in the US, Washington, I saw Arizona, Illinois, and so forth. So that'll be question 13. And number 14 says which sample was collected latest and where was it collected. So to do that, click on the collection date and click on the down arrow. And the last one listed here is from April 9th in Nigeria. And I bet by Monday that will change, because earlier today, Tanzania, or however you say that, was the last one that I saw this morning when I was looking through that. Okay, so that's how you do 13 and 14. And then to do the next part at the bottom of that page there, we're going to have to go back up here to click GenBank and then click the reference. So we have this NC045512, and you can notice that, I don't know if you can see it, it's on the bottom of the page here too. Okay, so then we're going to click on that and turn then to, I believe, the 5th page of the PDF, and it brings up a page that looks like this. Now, on that 5th page, she does a great job. This is Mrs. Lau. She is a high school science teacher. She does a really good job on the 5th page of that handout describing what all of this information means, and kind of bullet point or putting arrows to what the different portions mean. So this was taken from data from March 30th of this year. And just read through very carefully that 5th page of the handout, and she'll kind of explain where some of this information is and what that information means. Okay, now the 5th and 6th page of the handout, it kind of explains what all of this information is. And then on page 7, question number 15 asks you some information about what we're looking at. So what we're looking at here is the genome from the COVID-19 virus. And this is a particular sample from, this is basically Wuhan sample number 1, okay? And it's a complete genome. And so this is what we're looking at. Let's see, what kind of molecule, number 15 says, what kind of molecule makes up the SARS-CoV-2? Okay, well, right there, that tells you there what that is. How many nucleotides? What's the full name? Okay, so go through here, and based on the information in page 5 and 6, look through here and find that information to finish 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, now I wanted to show you something kind of neat. I'm not going to make you guys go through this, but remember, transcription, translation, the ribosomes, all of this stuff is what we are looking at. All these letters here represent an amino acid. This represents a particular amino acid. This represents an amino acid that's coded for by this genome. Okay, if we go all the way down to the bottom, here's some more amino acids. Here's what, so the product of translation, transcription, translation, please review that, okay, before you do this particular exercise. That might be helpful. That's the product of the translation for a particular piece of this genome. We go all the way to the bottom. Look at all these A's, T's, G's, and C's. This is the specific sequence starting at gene number 1, the specific sequence of nucleotide bases for the COVID-19 virus. Okay, so isn't that kind of interesting? We've talked about A's, T's, G's, and C's and all of that. And here is actually the nucleotide sequence for the genome for the COVID-19 virus. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys do number 1 through 18, or sorry, 1 through 19. And if you can figure out the other ones and work through those and complete the rest of the packet, that will be extra credit. But number 1 through 19 will be required. And if you have any questions on that, give me a call, okay? I think I'm gonna stop this video right here and then post the lecture video as a supplement. I think we'll do that, okay? So join me for the lecture video. That'll be coming up here in the next one.